What's up, good people? It's Larry Jones. Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. You're new to the page, go ahead, take your finger and hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and hit all. Check out all the links below. Check out Webull, $5 to open up a new account. They got fractional shares, trading before the market opens, all during the market, and after the market closes. They're going to give you more than $5 in free stock, and they're going to give you up to $2,300 in free stock. Hey, I still have my nephew Alec with me, and this is sort of part two. We had a discussion about mutual funds, ETFs, and index funds. And so what we want to talk about today is the difference in Roth accounts, setting up retirement accounts. Now, for those of you that's 25 and you're going, this is old people stuff. No. If anybody needs to be listening to this, it needs to be you. And if you're older and you have kids, you want to turn them on to this right now, because it's going to be life-changing. All right? So, Alec, go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Alec Rosario. Again, grateful to be here. Excited to hopefully help you guys change your legacy and your future.
There you go. There you go. Again, I got to say this again. However old you think he is, add another 10 years to that.
Appreciate it.
I've been knowing Alec for most of his life, and his dad was the best man in my wedding. He's like closer than a brother, like they say. Go ahead and tell them where you're from.
From Northwest Indiana, born and raised in this area, and that's where we live right now.
Mm-hmm. And tell them what company you're with.
Oh, my apologies. I'm with Edward Jones. I'm a financial advisor for, 10 plus years now. So. Okay.
Now, you guys always hear us YouTubers say, "I'm not your financial advisor." He is a financial advisor, and he could be your financial advisor. Yeah. We'll give you information. You know what? Give him your email right now.
Sure. Alec, ALEC.Rosario, ROSARIO @edwardjones.com.
And what states are you licensed in?
All over. Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Florida, California, and if there's a state that I would need to get licensed, it's really not that big of a deal. So
cool in the game. IRA, what does the acronym stand for?
Individual Retirement Account.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to ask the question right out of the gate.
Okay.
When I have a suggestion that I've been telling people, and the answer is really as soon as possible. When should you start a retirement account?
As soon as possible.
There you go, my man.
No, I recommend, if you're 21.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I believe the legal age is 18. So if you're 18, you can start a Roth IRA. If you have a student, I believe you can do one for them, but there might be a custodial rule. But 18 years old, you can start an IRA.
Now, how much money can you put in an IRA per year?
So the federal government rules are $6,000 before you're age 50, mm-hmm. and then they give you what's called a catch-up, which is an additional $1,000. So if you're over 50 and still employed, you can do $7,000.
There you go. And so for those of you that are over 50, you can actually put up to $7,000 per year. There's a cutoff date, so you want to check that out.
Yep. It's actually the tax deadline. So April 15th normally mm-hmm.
Is when
you've got up to that point. So for 2020, I could have put in up to April 15th. For 2021, into 2022, I can contribute for 2021.
There you go. There you go. And I was telling someone that, and they had missed the deadline. They had missed out. Yes. I was like, you could have put an extra $7,000. He's like, oh man. So now explain, why would someone put money into a Roth IRA?
Does anyone like the words tax-free?
Yes. I thought you were going to say taxes. I was like, no one likes the word taxes.
I love not paying taxes as much as possible, right?
Yes.
And I say that having integrity and ethics, right?
Yes.
I pay my taxes. However, if there's a way for me to position myself for my retirement, my
Right.
family's retirement, without having to pay any taxes,
Like all of the CEOs
Yes.
of the companies
Yes.
that you invest in, but go ahead.
Yeah, so this is how you would do it, as a Roth IRA. So how it works is you put money into the Roth IRA and you are taxed on it up front.
Right.
So you pay your taxes when you contribute the money to it that tax year, and then any money that you experience in growth.
So their tax preparer would pay the taxes on it, or whoever. Do they say I'm putting $6,000 in here? So do I have to go cut a check for that $6,000, or is it at the time when you do the taxes?
When you do your taxes.
I
Yep.
just want to be clear with that, because that's a misconception out there.
Yep. CPA accountant takes care of it. You get I think it's a 5498 that says Alec Rosario contributed $5,794 on this date, but it's for the tax year of 2021.
Right. And so it's a term called pre-taxed, right? And here's why you want to be pre-taxed. The taxes you're paying now are cheaper than the taxes you're going to be paying 5, 10, 30 years from now. And so you want to be pre-taxed, because the later you wait to pay taxes, the more taxes you're going to pay. Let's say you had to pay taxes on this money when you retire.
Right.
And let's say you're 25 and you put all of this money in all over these years. Now you get ready to retire and you want to draw out now, and now you got to pay taxes. You're going to be paying at a much higher rate.
Right.
Because taxes go up. They never go down.
Absolutely. I always say the bet is, will future presidents lower or raise taxes?
It's going up.
It's going up.
Like blood pressure. It's going up.
Exactly. And the other thing too, I mean, if you think about it, so conceptually, if I paid taxes on, let's say, $500,000 from the age 25 to 65, I would have paid taxes on all of that, but now let's pretend it's $1 million. That all comes out
Right.
100% tax-free in a Roth.
Yes.
Versus the other type of account, which is a traditional IRA, you're going to pay taxes on every dollar of the $1 million that you pull out. So I'd rather pay taxes on 500 than I would on $1 million.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so for most people, a Roth, especially if you don't have, that's another question. Let's say you have a Roth with your job. Is that the only Roth that you could have? Because I'm going over frequently asked questions. So let's say you work for a job and you have a Roth set up through your job, through your employer. That's it?
I'll say this. So Roth 401ks, traditional 401ks actually have a higher limit to them. So you can put up to, don't quote me on this. I believe it's 18,000. But don't quote me on that number. It's definitely higher than the 6,000 or 7,000 that you could put into the IRA. But there are rules against maxing out both. But as long as you haven't maxed out one, then you can do the other.
Okay, and the other has to be through an employer?
The 401k would have to be through the employer.
Exactly.
Or if you're a business owner, starting up your own 401k, you could do that as well for yourself.
How many? Because I'm being the devil's advocate with frequently asked questions. Suppose you're self-employed. Can you take advantage of that?
So you can do a Roth 401k, create your own 401k plan, and the limits for a business owner who owns a 401k plan are even higher than the 18 or 19,000 that I mentioned before. It's actually 52,000 if you're a business owner. What was the question?
No, that was just it. So if you're a business owner and you're a high incomer,
right?
How can you set up a 401k Roth and pay more into that?
Right. So
yes.
Yeah, the whole thing will not be Roth. There's rules against that, but you can do a large portion into the Roth 401k.
Higher than the 6,000 or 7,000.
Definitely higher than the 6,000 or 7,000.
And how about the taxes on that?
So most of it, whatever portion is going to go into the Roth in the form of contributions, that's going to be again the 18,000, 19,000, and then anything above that is going to be pre-tax, meaning tax deferred, meaning you pay taxes later. So of the 52,000, 19 is Roth, the rest is pre-tax or tax deferred.
Okay, I hope these questions are asked. Are asking you guys. I hope it's helping you guys, the questions that I'm asking, because I want you guys to get set up right. So a lot of us have gotten into the market, right? And we're just trading, and we don't have our foundation set up right. Right? What I want you guys to do, everybody that's listening to me, especially for those of you that are self-employed, listen, when you get paid, even though we've been taught one way, we got it all out of order. We go and we pay our bills. That is out of order, good people. I'm a spiritual man, so I give God back his. You notice I say back because he just lent it to us. So I pay my 10 to God, and then my first bill, I don't consider that a bill. My first bill that I pay is I pay myself first. So you should be paying yourself 10% or whatever you're making first. Then all your other bills come after that. As a matter of fact, you should be setting up your living expenses after that. And that's the only true way to set yourself up for financial freedom. But most of us are trained to just get a job, work, and pay bills. And what's odd about that is I could take two people making the exact same money, and come retirement time, one will only have a few dollars in the bank and the other one will have will have $1 million. But it's proper planning early. And so that's why you need to start talking to your kids about Roth IRAs and just IRAs in general. Because if you set them up for success right now and you train them in that way, then it's just a natural thing to them, right? The earlier you do it, the better. And yourselves, especially for those of you that are self-employed, musicians, waitresses, contractors, whatever you're doing that's you're self-employed, you absolutely need to do this now to create generational wealth. All right, good people. Any other thing that you want to say on this topic?
It's not about what you make, it's about what you keep.
That bing, pew, knocks the ball out of the park. And that's the truth. Just think about this. I always say this, and I learned this from my own mistakes. If you're not carrying wealth over from year to year, and you're every year you just break even, then you're financially dying. You're bleeding out, and you won't have a future. And so you need to take care of your own future. And I say this, even if you're working a job and you have a 401k, you could still invest outside of your 401k, and actually should be investing. Now this is Larry, this is not Alec, this is Larry speaking. Because man, me personally, that 401k would just be icing on the cake. Number one, I would max out. Number two, I would be creating another stream of income, and I would be planning, because you don't want to just retire with just enough. You want to retire with an abundance. Okay, give the people amen. I got an amen. Amen. Can I get an amen? Give them tell them where you work at again, and explain real briefly, explain the process if they want to contact you. Explain how you can help them and that type of deal.
Absolutely, more than happy to do that. So I'm with Edward Jones. Again, my contact information is...
No relations, I wish it was. I wish Edward was my cousin, but go ahead.
Yes, you do. Edward Jones, and the email is alec.rosario@edwardjones.com. I'd be more than happy to, if you're in the area, we could do a face-to-face, but a lot of the time I'm meeting with people via Zoom. Last year kind of changed the overall industry to kind of allow technology to help out more. So
that's cool. You guys could do a Zoom meeting.
Yep. Anywhere across the country we can meet via Zoom. So yes, that's how you get a hold of me. And you know, these accounts are legal means of creating tax-free wealth.
Absolutely. And give them that email one more time, because
yep.
they're going to be calling me going, they're going to be emailing me going, what was that email? Go ahead.
It's Alec, ALEC.Rosario, ROSARIO @edwardjones.com.
There you go. Hey, good people, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take this information. I know this is not the hot stock, but I need to spend some time. As a matter of fact, I'm creating a playlist with these videos in here talking about mutual funds, ETFs, index funds, IRAs. These are the things everyone needs to know. All right, so I'll have a playlist created so you can always go back and reference that. Okay, good people. Hey, I want you to show this to your family members, show this to your moms, and I want to say this. Someone needs to hear this. The answer is no, you're not too old. I hear that all the time. Am I too old? No, you're not too old. When is too old to start? You're not too old to start investing. If you're listening to me on YouTube, you're not too old to start investing.
That's very true.
It's the truth. I get it. People, I meet people, and so someone was 70 the other day. She was like, well, I'm 70. And I said, hey, my granddad lived to 104. Okay, so it's not too late to start investing, though she should have been started investing. And the only way to assure that is start your kids now. Okay, you know what, I know this is long, but this is important information. I just want to tell you that you could start a custodial account for your kids right now. Long as they have breath and a social security number, you could start a custodial account for your kids. As a matter of fact, here's what's really mind-blowing. You could start a custodial account for your neighbors' kids, for your nephews and your nieces. I talked with I don't want to say your another broker's name,
okay.
Fidelity, and got a very clear. This is nothing I'm pulling a rabbit out of my hat. I talked to Fidelity, and they said absolutely you could start it. And so this is what I want you guys to do. You know, you're thinking about birthdays and Christmases and this and that and $300 gym shoes. Start your kids out a custodial account. Just start it. And you know, if you could do $5 a day, you know, my $1 million cup of coffee challenge, my $5 a day. But you know what? It's not about you don't have to buy the cup. Though, yeah, it's merch. You don't have to buy the cup. The cup is just a reminder to build generational wealth. That's what the cup represents, and that's what the whole premise around it is. If just try it and see what happens over a period of time. A lot of you guys are new. When you started out, you had zero. Your parents didn't leave you anything, and this is nothing negative against your parents. They didn't have anything to leave you because they didn't have this training, okay? And so let's break that generational curse and let's start financial freedom and create generational wealth. That's my calling, good people, and that's what I try to bring to the table. And so for those of you that are saying, I can't believe you're talking about mutual funds and index funds, and you know what? Everybody don't have $50,000 in the bank or $200,000 in the bank to start flipping homes or whatever you're doing to generate money. And so this is information for the masses. I'm trying to help a generation create financial wealth, and that's what my calling is, and that's what this page is about, good people. Okay, and we are positive here, and we help each other, and so that's why I'm going to continue to bring you good, solid, sound advice. I'm gonna leave it right there, good people. Check out all the links below, and we'll see you on the next one. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Peace.